Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this week's episode of China's Finest, we're going to be reviewing a short throw shifter. So if you own an E46, you've probably seen this shifter lurking around on Amazon. So when you buy it off Amazon, it's about $40. So we dug even deeper and found this shifter on Alibaba for $14. So let's see if this thing works. On our last video, we actually tested out our Alibaba $200 angle kit, and it actually works really good. It's a whole steer kit, comes with control arms and everything. We've tested it out on the E46. That's actually last week's video, so make sure to check that out. Once again, this is China's Finest, so we'll see what we actually get. Alright, so this is our shifter handle, a random washer, and the actual shifter. Actually forgot to mention, but this is a chassis mounted shifter. Typically, whenever you buy these shifters, you get the DSSR rod. Typically, they're around $100. We're gonna see if we can get away with using the OEM rod that comes on the stock shifter and see if that feels good. If not, we're not going to be buying one. We've actually purchased one before and it ended up failing within 3 months. So if we do need one, we're going to be building one today. Make sure to keep on watching to see what we get into. So first of all, the beard is gone. After 10 years, we finally shaved it off. We're going to be working on the $500 beater here at the shop. At the new shop, we actually don't have the right tools to get this job done. So let's just get to it. This is our handy dandy transmission jack we use. We're going to use this to actually hold our exhaust up. So let's start removing that. We have the exhaust off, so now let's see what else we got to do. I think the next thing is going to be unbolting the drive shaft bolts right there, and then possibly just lowering the transmission. And we should be able to get our hands in here so we could undo the shifter. Guys, fake news. We're just going to be undoing the drive shaft from here and undoing these 2 bolts, and that'll give us perfect access for that rod. Not to mention, guys, but helping us out today is my little brother Edgar. Will probably be like the 4th time we take out this drive shaft. The drive shaft off of there, so now we're just getting it out of the way. Just gonna bungee strap it to one of the hoist legs. All right, so now we're gonna be removing this little clip right here for the selector rod, or DSSR rod, whatever they call it. All right. Now we got to remove this, and you just use a flathead screwdriver, kind of just walk it out of there. Kind of a pain in the ass with one hand, but let's see if we get it. All right guys, 2 hands were required for this one. There it goes. All right, so now what we're going to be doing, we're just going to be cutting this off because I'm not taking this transmission down. We've had this thing off at least 4 times now, so we're just gonna cut it. We're just gonna be using our angle grinder to cut that off of there. We would use the Sawzall, but I think this will be a little easier. Safety glasses. Oh shit, fucking quarter. We got it. So now we're going to be prepping this thing, that way we can install it. So we're just going to thread on our shifter handle on there, our shift knob. Right, tight. And now we're going to be removing this bottom plate on here. We're just going to unthread these. All right, now we just separate these plates. This is supposed to be the adjustment for the short throw shifter. We're gonna leave it where it's at right now and then go from there. So now we're gonna be installing our shifter. So this is a chassis mounted shifter. That means these 2 plates actually sandwich together on the chassis, and that's what holds it in. We're gonna be handing over the shifter to Edgar, and he's gonna be putting it through where the shifter is supposed to go, like that. Then we're gonna lift them up in the air, and then we'll use this plate and we'll put it up through the bottom, and then we'll start bolting it down. And that should be all we need to do. All right, guys, going up. Now that we have the car in the air, we're just going to put this plate through here. Now Edgar is going to put the bolt through there. We will add hold it down. All right. We will put the first nut through there. All right, that's one. All right, so now we're gonna tighten this down. To tighten them down, it's a 13, so. It's nice and tight. Now we're just gonna put our selector rod through here. Okay, now we just need to find our clip. Clip is found, so we're just gonna install this. All right, wanna try it out? Really? All right, guys, so the shifter seems to be working good. So now we just gotta put this all back together. Taking this pile on the first test rip. Of course, everything a shitbox needs: a bag of hot Cheetos, 2 jumpers, some tools, windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Does it have reverse?
Yep.
Oh shit, we got reverse. So. Oh shit.
That's really moving.
Alright guys, so reverse to second right here. Okay, not bad. Alright, now first to second. First to second. Not bad.
Good. Feels way better than that shitty shifter where you're like all the way over here.
Yeah, our old shifter, it was like rowing through gears. It was pretty bad. Sometimes you'd hit the actual climate control trying to shift.
So there is a little bit weirdness with the shifter. When you're going from second to third, it kind of likes to go into fifth. That's probably due to this 5th gear hang that we kind of got going on right here. So it just goes in there instead of third. Kind of annoying.
That's 3rd gear, guys. That kind of sucks. Guys, got the test drive a little short. There's definitely a fuel leak going on with this thing, and we can't really seem to find it, but it smells like shit. A little bit of fuel, I think, running down this hose. Let's see. That one right there. So I guess we'll report back and see where it's actually coming from. And hopefully we can get this fixed before the actual drift event. We made it back to the new shop and we actually got some goodies for the 350Z over there. One thing we did notice is there's a lot of slop in this shifter. I don't know if you can see that, but whenever you buy the nicer shifter, well, actually, it's not even really the shifter. The main thing giving it the slop is the DSSR rod and the, what's that other joint called?
Like the selector rod joint, I believe.
Yeah, so if you want this to feel a bit more crispy, like the one in Edgar's BMW, we'll post a clip right here.
The shifter feels really good, really notchy, works really nice.
If you want to do that, you're gonna have to get the DSSR rod and that joint he was talking about, and that'd get rid of all this slop right here. But overall, the shifts actually feel really notchy. And this is definitely an upgrade, but if you want to get your shifter actually good, you're going to have to do the other 2 things. Other thing we noticed, it does have a 5th gear lean to it. That's 5th right there. So whenever you're driving, it's just going to go to 5th gear every single time. That could get annoying, but again, $14 shifter, guys. So the E46, the shifter actually felt really good, except those few things we mentioned earlier in the video. But now we got to fix a bunch of other stuff. This is what we have to fix. First of all, we got to fix all the oil leaks in this car. This thing leaks a lot of oil. It's pretty bad actually, so we got to take care of that. The next thing we got to do is get some seat belts in this thing. Currently the driver doesn't have a seat belt, and I guess that's the most important one. Also, the seat is not mounted properly. Only 2 bolts up front are holding it on there. Then after that, we actually just took care of doing the hood pins on it. Previously, I had these janky hood pins on there that were like 1/4 inch thick. Like those things are pretty sketchy. So we went with some traditional style hood pins for this thing, and I think it suits the build pretty good. And then the next thing we have to do is make sure this thing actually has 20 lug nuts. I know we're missing like 2 right now, but to pass tech inspection, we need to have those on there, so we'll do that. Another thing we're gonna do is actually install a fire extinguisher. This thing leaking a bunch of oil and, you know, being kind of a shitty ass car, we wanna make sure we don't catch it on fire, and if it does catch on fire, we'll save it, because there's a lot of good parts on here. The other thing is this car actually currently still doesn't have a mass airflow sensor. We've been running it raw like this for ever since we got it. Probably need to take care of that, especially at a drift event. I go flying off track and we don't want to suck in a bunch of dust and make our motor not work anymore. This thing actually shreds pretty good for it only having like 150 horsepower. So we're going to do that. Another thing that we're not 100% sure is we were going to actually build a bash bar, but it turns out this event's going to be at the road course where they don't have a bunch of cones and stuff you can actually hit. So we might skip the bash bar for this one, but if we have some spare time, we'll end up doing that. If not, we're going to be doing it in future videos. And that's kind of another thing with the seatbelt thing is, so to buy a harness bar, I think it's going to cost me like 200 bucks, but to build a cage, it'll cost me $50. We might build the cage just to get some more content and save some money. That way everything's properly in there. But if we do a cage on this thing, I might have to get rid of the back seats. I haven't really seen any back seats with cages on these. So I guess we'll see if we can make that happen. After that, we're gonna have to actually mount the battery properly. Currently it's just kind of sitting in there. So we got to get that actually clamped on there, make sure it's not going anywhere. And we also got to cover our positive terminal at the track. That's what they require for us to do, which that's okay. We'll take care of that. And then after we do all of that, we're going to do a road trip to Bullhead City. That is the biggest hill around us, and make sure it can drive there and drive back. If it does that just fine, I guess we're ready for Vegas Drift. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.